For everybody dooming about the future, I just want to show you guys how crazy things are lining up for us. Whether you're conservative, consider yourself MAGA, Republican, whatever it is. As long as you can't stand the left and you want America to get back to America, the future is very, very bright. And I want to show you the data because I know I've talked about it a lot, but I don't think I've actually shown you guys. And so I want to break this down because this is huge. This should get a lot of people very excited. Now, there are 4 big trends driving a shift in our future right now. Americans moving from blue states to red states. For years, people have been leaving high tax, high regulation blue states, heading to lower cost red and Sunbelt states. It's not slowing down. The recent data as of 2025 is North Carolina gained 84,000 domestic migrants in 1 year. Domestic migrants, remember, that's just state to state. Texas gained 67,000. South Carolina gained 67,000. California lost 229,000. New York, 138,000. Illinois, 40,000. That's just since 2024. Over the longer period since 2020, red states have gained millions of people through internal migration, while big blue states like New York have lost over 1 million cumulatively. And since here's the map since 2020, and you can see some of these places have risen, but that's just like birth rate growth. But look at the big blues. New York, Illinois, and California all down. And then you look at the red states. So some blue states have grown, but slowly. But look at these hard red states. You got Idaho, 10%. Montana, 6%. South Dakota, 6%. Utah, 8%. Arizona, 6%. For some reason, it cut off Texas. My bad. That's my fault probably for not checking this ahead of time. But 7% North Carolina, 9% South Carolina. You get it. Texas and Florida are also like 7 to 10% since 2020. That's a massive demographic change since the last census, folks. And they're still very red states. Now, conservatives are having more children. Republican-leaning areas and conservative families have significant higher birth rates than liberal Democratic ones, and the gap is widening. In 2024, most Republican counties had a total fertility rate of 1.76 children per woman on average. Excuse me. Democrat counties, 1.37. Among young women, 25 to 35, 71% of conservative women are already parents. So the age gap of people having babies later is almost exclusively on the left. Only 40% of liberal women have babies between 25 and 35. Guys, that's crazy. One of the reasons it's crazy is because if you start younger, you can have more. Most of these women who wait until their mid to late 30s can only have one child. This is also going to keep it down. And that's if you still can have a child. Difference has grown much larger since the 80s. It means future voter generations will include relatively more people raised in conservative households. And then you get deportations and lower immigration, reduce extra population counts in blue states. This has just started. So we don't even have real data on this one yet, the effect this is going to have in the next census. But it's happening mostly in blue states because they're the ones who said, come on in. Census counts all residents, including non-citizens, when deciding how many House seats and electoral college votes each state gets. Not in the next census. We're stopping that, but it has been. Blue states with large immigrant populations benefited from this padding. Studies show immigration has shifted 10 to 26 House seats. 10 to 26. That's also the electoral college. With states like California, New York, and New Jersey gaining extra rep. Large-scale deportations plus lower new immigration would shrink the population counts in blue areas more than red states, shifting seats and electoral power towards red states in 2030. And then you get cleaner election rules, make outcomes reflect citizen voters more accurately. Stronger voter ID, citizenship verification, voter roll maintenance reduce the impact of irregularities critics say previously helped Democrats in close races. This aligns results more closely with citizen population trends above. So how will this affect things going forward? Single biggest shift comes with 2030. Population growth in red states, reduced non-citizen counts in blue states, expected to move multiple House seats and electoral college votes from blue to red. Projected gains. Texas, 3 to 4 seats. Florida, 2 or more. Single seats, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and others. Projected losses. California could lose 3 to 4. New York and Illinois, 1 or 2 each, and more scattered losses elsewhere. And you see the green is gaining. The red is losing. This is a big deal. You get a total of, say, 7 to 12 shifting the electoral college. Makes just the election so much easier to win. The presidential election plus the House. So much easier to keep. After 2030, states redraw congressional districts in 2031. Many fast-growing red states have Republican legislatures can draw maps reflect new population reality. These maps will stay in effect for a decade. And then fertility advantages start feeding more young conservative-leaning voters in the electorate by the mid-2030s. So here's some projections. 2028, optimistic for Republicans to win the White House with a clear margin. They keep the House around 220 to 235 seats and maintain or slightly expand the Senate majority. There's a data drivers, ongoing migration in red states, early deportation effects, and cleaner rules help in battlegrounds. Momentum carries forward. 2030, optimistic. Republicans gain House seats, pushing towards the mid-230s and hold or add a couple Senate seats. Migration trends remain strong. Deportations reduce population weight in blue areas. 2030 census change is still not in effect. Then 2032 gets interesting. Strong Republican presidential win with comfortable electoral college margin. House majority grows to roughly 240 to 260 seats thanks to the new maps. Senate stays comfortable. And this is without the fact that some of these bluish states are getting redder, like California. Could you imagine if by 2032, with all the illegals out, with elections cleaned up, and the state continues to get redder, if in 2032 California flips, guys, that's another 30 to 40 seats and electoral college votes. You got other places that are kind of closer to purple, like maybe a Colorado, or if Oregon gets cleaned up, New Mexico. This trend is growing quickly. The election fraud being cleaned up and the illegals being cleaned up, guys, is massive. And then the fact that only conservative families are growing, liberal families are getting smaller, this is really, really bad for the Democrats looking forward. Why do you think they're so angry and engaged and freaking out about the midterms? They have to win this, or they are shut out for a long time. Strong Republican wins, and then 2034. Republicans now will have a strong House majority they'll hold and keep Senate control. Again, these are projections based on everything we're seeing. But I'll tell you what, these are very realistic based on current data. The only way this changes is if MAGA, which is now taking over the Republican Party, has a massive failure, or say a presidential candidate completely betrays the base and fractures it. That's the only way this happens, because this is all based upon the continued trend that are already in effect. The demographic changes, the birth rates, the removing of illegals, the changes in voting laws. Voting Rights Act already struck down. The mail-in ballot's probably going to be struck down soon. All this is just predicated upon that. This isn't even with the SAVE Act in. These are conservative projections of what's possible, unless, and there's always the big if, unless somebody extremely screws it up. But we're talking about a nation, a movement of shared values that's growing and building forward. Like, this is very realistic. This is the trend we're heading towards. Because, guys, if you look sociologically, cultural trends are generational. They don't stop after 1 or 2 years. They grow until they fizzle out. And we're at the beginning of these trends, not the end. Not the end. This is all starting. 2036 presidential. This will be after 8 years advance. At this point, we'd have another clear presidential victory with Republicans. House majority stayed the same, Senate in Republican hands. Redistricting advantages are fully in place. Fertility differences have now compounded for another several years, producing larger cohorts of voters from higher birth rate areas. 2038 midterms. Optimistic GOP could maintain a comfortable House majority, Senate control. Anyways, it goes. I had it like 2040. I had to run the math for 2040, 2042, 2040. Because of the birth rates, guys, this is why. Now, obviously, things can change. Stuff can happen. But the factors are in this direction. What could change is one of the presidential candidates, like I said, could really screw things up. We could have a new party arise. The Democratic Party dies, and then there's a new moderate party that fractures MAGA. That's always possible. There's always things we don't know. But if it just stays right now, if the Democratic Party stays as it is and doesn't grow, it doesn't change, a more moderate center-right country is the outcome pretty much no matter what. Because even if we get a new party, it's still going to be the people raised in these conservative families. It's still going to be that trend of the hard lefters dying off, because that's an ideology that's dying. So whatever it looks like, whether it's MAGA Republicans hold control or not, the future of America is much different than where we're at now. And in my opinion, the left has gone as far as it could, and now it's been utterly repudiated and also made the mistake of killing themselves off. And that is leading to long-term gains. And again, they were going to stop this by importing people in like crazy. That's one way they were going to keep this going. They were going to, with Kamala Harris going forward, they were going to ruin our elections much more so they could keep rigging them. But see, Trump threw a wrench into all this. He's killing their sacred cows. He's deporting everybody. He's stopping the immigration from even coming in, which is making it so we get to build our population up again and taking over. Everybody's running to red states, which is shifting the power dynamics. The redistricting is now happening. The Voting Rights Act is struck down, so now they don't have to get these freebie seats. It's all shifting in this crazy direction, which is center-right to MAGA. And the demographic changes, you can't shift those in a couple years. It takes 20, 30 years to undo them. So bottom line, data on migration, fertility gaps, apportionment mechanics, and election rules support clear directional story. Red states grow in population and families while blue states lose relative ground. Biggest acceleration happens around 2030 census and redistricting, with advantages compounding through 30s and 40s. These optimistic predictions assume the trends described continue without major interruptions, which is what I said. So there's a lot it depends on, but guys, the data is absolutely clear right now. Like, this is happening. So the difference is what do we do with it? That's the real question. But regardless, the left-wing portion of this country, the communist portion of this country, is dying off. They are in the death throes right now. And this is why I always say that 2024 was the Gettysburg. It was the battle we needed to win, and now all we got to do is keep our foot down. And we're going to watch America be completely reshaped in the next 10, 20 years. It's starting right now. But we're at the beginning of a trend, as some people would call it, the fourth turning, where we're going in a different direction for a long time. And the facts about this are undeniable without a major wrench coming in and changing that.